Hello, my GNTC students. It's Pam Turner, your lovely instructor and program director for the social work program. And I just want to say hello to all of you. And I haven't been on video last week, so I do apologize. And I always start off with a hopeful saying that will help you get through. My one today is by C.S. Lewis, and it just says, "You're never too old to set another goal or dream another dream." So remember that. And maybe you think you're old and you've had enough and you can't do this anymore, but you're never, ever too old. And I hope that you always keep living and dreaming big dreams so you have something to wish for. I think when you stop dreaming big dreams, then you stop living. So let's always remember there's something bigger and better out there for us. We do have a test coming up, and I think you all remember that. A reminder, it is on your page, on the discussion page, and it's chapters test 1, which is the infant and adolescent test. It is on chapters 2, 3, and 4. It does open Monday, September 24th, and it closes Tuesday, September 25th. It's only a 24-hour window that it'll be open. So it opens at 7 a.m. on Monday, and it'll close Tuesday at midnight. So please don't forget to get that test done and in. I just want to go over some things that we've talked about in our discussion posts and also just some updates. First of all, I want to go over some things in Chapter 4. That is the social development of infants and of childhood infants. So we've talked about some of the things already in the tests. We've talked about the importance of the family. The book talks about family structures, and we do know that families come in all different shapes and sizes, and certainly the dynamics of every family are different. There are some, of course, families that are more functional than others. Some of the terms the book talked about and that will be on the test are systems. All families operate in a system. So that means when we're looking at the kids, we just can't say it's the mom or the dad, it's the entire system that has some issues. Subsystems, and many times in families, we have mom and dad together, and that's how it should work, and they together parent the children. When they're unhealthy subsystems, then what happens is the mom and the dad sometimes will bound together. So it'll be a child with a mom and a dad by itself, especially if there are drug issues. Those are things that are very important. Also, boundaries in families. There are boundaries in all families, and they can be different, but they need to be very clear boundaries. For example, we teach children when they're younger that you close the door when you go to the bathroom, and not that we want to keep secrets in our house, but we want to learn that boundaries in the house go to the real world. That's your private time in the bathroom, so you close your doors. As a rule, when it comes to boundaries with teenagers, unless you have some concerns that there's some inappropriate behavior going on, I think teenagers have the right to their phone and their phone information. I don't think that parents necessarily have the right to go through their child's phone unless there are some concerns. And then that's okay to not have those boundaries. Those are some of the things that will be on the test, and be sure that you look at all of that information. The chapter talked about the system of the level of families, and I think this is always important to know what normal human behavior looks like, because many times that's not what we'll see in our social work practice or even in your own homes. Stage 1 is you leave home. You go to college, you move out, you leave home. Step 2 is then you get married. So the goal is that you would leave home and spend some time on your own before you got married. Many times people will get married and live in their parents' home, or they'll get married without having any time on their own. And we know that the healthier families live by yourself first, and then you live not with a spouse. That may be college or a roommate, but definitely that's kind of what you do. Step 3 is you have young children. So you get married first, then you have the kids. Remember that. Then your children grow up until adolescence. Stage 5, you launch those children, and you move on to your middle adulthood. Stage 6 is families in late middle age. 7 is family near the end of life. And then we talk about the phases of the life cycle. And it's different sometimes if you're a single adult or if you have some immigration status. But steps 1 through 7 are normal family growth and development, and that's what we look for. This chapter talks a little bit also, we talked a lot about behavior and consequences. Y'all did a very good job on the parenting issues. The difference is just make sure that that authoritative parenting is not the same as authoritarian parenting. Authoritative is I'm the boss. I'm the boss, and I run this. I run the rules. I run this roost. That really is okay to be authoritative. Authoritation is when the kids don't have any say-so. That mom and dad set the rules, and this is the way it is. And truly, most parenting goes from authoritative when you are, the kid's little, because they don't get to pick a bedtime. They don't get to pick what they're going to eat. We set the rules until they grow up. So then we want to become authoritative as they grow up. And that's the goal. It's to kind of be the judge, jury, and executioner when they're little. And then as they grow up, they can make better decisions. But when it comes to our parenting style, we don't want to be too permissive. So when you see that with parents as well, you want to make sure that we talk to them about parenting styles. We know children's behavior many times just comes from parenting styles. Also, we talked about, let me remind you also, so when we talked a lot about spanking, as a social worker overall, we cannot tell parents that spanking is okay. We just can't do that because many times that mild physical abuse leads to something much greater. And they'll go back and say, but the social worker told me I could, when that often is not the case. So we just want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Also, when it comes to reinforcement, positive, negative reinforcement, I wrote some feedback on many of your posts. I just want to understand what it looks like. So when we look at what we want to do is we want to reinforce behaviors. We want to make sure that behavior happens again if we want it to. And for example, in real life, if you come to school and you have a great day at school and I give you a great grade on your report card, on your essay, you have a real positive experience and you're more likely to increase that behavior. That's the positive. Negative, if you turn that same paper in and I say, oh, it's fine, and then I say something about it, you're less likely to increase that behavior. So the negative response will remove the negative behavior, but a positive reinforcer will reinforce that. That's why we get paid. We come to work because we get paid. That reinforces my behavior. Now, punishment, the goal of punishment is to present adverse events or positive or remove the positive reinforcement. The difference mainly between consequences and punishment are meant to hurt, and consequences are meant to learn from that behavior. Prisoners are also often punished. We know that's the consequences of their action, but we're not trying to teach them other than not to do it again. So there's a little difference between consequences and behavior. And our goal all the time is in negative behavior, we want to make it extinct. We want to stop the behavior. The reason I don't fly home every day at 75 miles an hour is because I even don't want to get in trouble. So our goal always should be positive reinforcement as opposed to negative reinforcement. We want to shape behavior. We want to remind Johnny and teach Johnny's parents that every time he does something right, closer to right, we reinforce that behavior. That's the better choice there. Let's see here. We talked about some common lifestyles. That's in that text also. Other influences. There was some issues on child neglect in that one also, so be sure that you read all those. Also then, just some going over some of the things that are in the, oops, put that over there. Some of the things that we always have questions on in the class. This is what it should look like for when you open up. Your lessons are here. Your discussion posts go here, and everybody reads and you post their discussion. You know the rules. The Wednesday, to get all the credits, first post by Wednesday, and then I'm sure that you respond to 2 other peers. But also, don't forget, like this one, your blogs count. So there's a blog there, and I'm going to put a new blog up for this week, and that's where you have to be sure that you answer about the video. But yes, I watched the video, and this is what it says. So that's what you're going to do right there. It says other blogs, and then you're going to put a new video up there, and then you be sure that you blog. And right here where it says it has no entries, if you just go through and read the other people's entries, that's where you'll see the entries. You click on that, and you'll see the entries there. And that's where I look to make sure that you're actually watching the video and that those are points. So be sure that you do those as well. Questions are good there. Be sure that you read other people's blogs as well. It's a great time just to ask and answer some questions. Okay, guys, I'll try to make it short and sweet because I know many of you are not going to listen to anything much longer than this. But I'm always available if you want to give me a call at 706-764-3863. A couple things don't forget is if you're doing the ropes course, that money is due by October 1st, and everyone has to have a purple shirt. Please contact Emily Conley if she hasn't contacted you already to be sure that you purchase a purple shirt. That's required for all our events, and everybody has to have 4 hours of community service per semester, or you'll get an incomplete. And you don't want to get an incomplete just because you didn't volunteer. So be sure to keep an eye open for videos from Emily. Thanks, guys. That's all I have to say. You rock.